Good morning from Perth, Western Australia. This is it, our first Q&A session, live Q&A session for hosts. So I'll just kind of wait for a few people to come on and hopefully just check that. Well, I just did a check before, so the audio and that should all be good. So yeah, we're on for half an hour today. Hopefully this time has kind of worked for some people. It's obviously difficult getting it across all of the global time zones. So the good thing about this is that with Facebook Live, it's being recorded and it's going to be in the Host Hub feed for future reference. So you'll be able to come back and watch it. So if you join and stay to the end, awesome. If you come and go, that's fine too. Post your questions in the chat and I will talk about any, we'll go through any of your questions or topics that you want me to talk about. So I've got a few things that I want to talk about today anyway, so I will get started. I'm actually going to put a timer on, so there we go, just so I don't go over. I'm aware of everybody's time. Okay, so one of the things that keeps sort of coming up in the group recently is people being worried about au pairs coming into their space. Now, obviously, if you're an experienced host, you're probably going to be quite okay with that because you sort of know what to expect. But for those who are new to hosting, searching for your first au pair, or even if you're deciding if hosting is going to be for you, that can be quite a big worry as to like how you and your family and your kiddies going to go with having someone else living in your space. So it's one of those things that no matter what anybody else says around experience, if they're experienced hosts, if you've got family and friends, their few views on it is if you don't give it a go, you'll never know. So it's kind of one of those things, like for me personally, I had the same worries when I started, but my husband and I pretty much sort of decided that like we just needed to take that leap of faith and give it a go. Otherwise we would never know. And we've absolutely loved it. And I see, people's feedback about how great it is and how thankful they are that they've actually gone to that process of hosting au pairs. So it's just one of those things, I guess, if you've got concerns about specific things around, well, is the au pair going to be around always and in your space? How are you going to get private time? Maybe as a couple or as a family, what are your evenings going to look like? What are your weekends going to look like? So my sort of biggest suggestion in relation to preparing for those sort of worries up front is to be upfront with the au pair. So once you've hired an au pair and they arrive, is just be really open with them. There's a lot of au pairs that it's their first time too, so it's new to them as well. And they have more adjusting to do than we do as hosts. So just be open with them and explain that, you're really not sure how it's going to go in relation to you as a family and a couple and even, a mum or a dad having sort of private time. So come up with some ideas together. It's great to actually get the au pairs involved and get their ideas and input. They may be someone who really loves their private time too, and you may not have any worries at all. But if there's someone who, their like personality preferences is really communicating with, other people and that interaction and that really kind of satisfies their soul, then, they may spend more time out and about like with the family and that sort of thing. And so just sort of, test it out and kind of go, let's just check in through the week or weekly for the first month, see what both of you are liking, and just to have really open conversations about how you're feeling, what works, what doesn't, what things you maybe want to try differently. And, don't be afraid to actually even invite the au pair to like, if you want to come and sit with us on the couch and watch TV tonight, or we're going to watch a movie or a doco, and, be open to invite them to join you so that they know that they can. some will actually kind of probably be private because they don't want to intrude. So just, be open with your communication. So hopefully that sort of helps those who may have those worries. And it doesn't necessarily help when other hosts are kind of whinging and complaining about some of these things. And I think having that open communication up front, that you are going to check in and give feedback on, maybe things that don't work for you, what does work for you, then there's no kind of surprises, and you don't necessarily get that anxiety of like, oh, it could be the smallest thing, but, you don't want to have that anxiety and like, how do I communicate with my au pair about this? So just be really open up front about what you're feeling. And that's sort of the approach that I've had, and it's just so easy. I found it really, really easy. So hopefully that kind of helps in the worry about au pairs coming into your personal space. Another thing that I sort of see host parents are kind of complaining about sometimes, but maybe little frustrations that can come up. Sometimes au pairs might put their dishes in the sink and not wash them, or, like just little simple things like this. I try to approach these sort of upfront communications with my au pairs around, so, these are this is a schedule, these are the on-duty hours, the roster, and the on-duty tasks. And so I go through those. They're very much predominantly childcare related. Some of them will be, to assist with some kind of house care type tasks. And so I then, once I've kind of gone through that, we'll then sort of say, okay, like we're all adults in the house, and, we all need to contribute and come together and help each other when it comes to dinner. So dinner preparation, setting the table, washing the dishes, putting the dishes away, and, so there's what we're paying you for, but then there's you're living in our house and sharing our space, and we all have to chip in. And so having those conversations up front as well, I kind of set that expectation around what has to happen outside of their hours. Like, they don't just get to be kind of like a teenager and sit on the couch for the rest of the time outside of their hours. And, it's kind of also up to them. I've got a 3-year-old, so she doesn't necessarily comprehend the on-duty, off-duty hours. So I also sort of have conversations around, she's going to want to interact with them all day long. So out of hours, if they're needing private space and private time, they're probably going to have to figure out how to sort of balance that for themselves a little bit, because if they're out and about in our living area, which they're absolutely more than welcome to, then there is going to be that level of interaction. And, some of them are more than happy to still be around and interacting and helping out. But I guess the difference is that they have a responsibility for, in my case, my daughter during their on-duty hours. But off-duty hours, that responsibility kind of reverts back to myself and my husband. But, they're kind of there. So hopefully that sort of gives you a few things to kind of go on in regards to some of the concerns that can come up, or what sort of conversations to have and to set up front when your au pairs are starting with you. So that's that. Another thing I want to talk about, which I've had a couple of private messages with some people over the last week, and one of the biggest traps, this is particularly for people in Australia, and this may impact some other countries. It's a big world to be across all of these requirements. But in Australia, one of the biggest traps for a new host is to jump on any of the search platforms, any of the Facebook groups, start searching and hunting and connecting with au pairs, communicating, getting right through to the process of, falling in love with, I think this person's my match. How do I get them here? And then to find out that that person isn't eligible to apply for a visa because they're not in the list of eligible countries. Well, they don't come from that list of eligible countries. So for Australians, there's 2 visas, the 417 and 462 visas. They're working holiday visas. They're 2 separate lists of countries. I think there's like about 30 or something countries on there. So I've actually printed it out. So, there's quite a big list of countries there that, you can get au pairs from. But when you first start out, my suggestion is to check those visas out, check the list of countries, choose which ones you feel like you would have a preference to, to hosting someone from those countries, and then put that as a filter in your search, like wherever you're searching au pairs from. Hey, Anne. It's bedtime there. No worries. Well, have a good sleep. It's just past 8 a.m. here in Perth in WA. So yeah, hopefully you've got some out of this session. Jump back on and watch the recording if you need to, or tomorrow or whenever, or maybe over the weekend, and check out all the extra things. I've got a bit of a list here, and yeah, for anyone else who jumps on. Lovely to have you here. So visas for Australians is have a look at that list of countries, put it in your search criteria. So, there's multiple search platforms that you can find your au pairs from, that you can put that as a filter. So some of the most common places that people are searching au pairs from is, like Au Pair World, Au Pair Legends, the app. There's a bunch of other sites. There are places obviously like Facebook groups and like Gumtree and kind of community posting boards sort of thing. So, there's places that are probably less functional in regards to setting search filters, but where you can put that filter in, and then you kind of don't have to worry too much, because you're only going to be matched or only see in your search results the au pairs who are coming from those countries. So you can kind of embark on that search process with one less worry that you're going to have hurdles when it comes to the visa application. Obviously, there still is a potential that there might be some challenges when it comes to the visa application process. But for me personally, once I get to that point, I usually suggest to the au pairs that I'm engaging or inviting to join our family and it's purely based on au pair feedback to me, is just to allow about an hour for them to apply for the visa, so they can kind of be ready. I also provide my home address, because I'm fairly certain that that's what they need to put into their visa application. So, kind of when we're really close to them applying for the visa, I share that level of detail with them, but not prior to then. And then, so interesting that the visa applications can be approved so quickly. So again, if you're a new host and you have a worry about or a concern that you want someone really quickly, and what if the visa application process takes a long time? I've had some come back say it took 4 minutes for the approval to come back, 10 minutes. My current au pair, the au pair that I've got coming in next week actually, she's applied for her visa, and so I'd gone to bed and she sent a message that she was applying for it, and then by the time I woke up I had another message saying that it's already been approved with a screenshot. So you don't want to bank on that being the case, that it's really going to be processed really quickly, but it can. So don't let that weigh on your worries of probably some of the other things that you've got going on in your mind in relation to finding and preparing yourself for hosting an au pair. So that's a couple of things on the visas, and one trap as an Australian host to avoid. It's very, very easy to prevent that issue. I have sort of shared some information about that in the Facebook group, but I might post some the links for the visa in the eligible countries listed for those visas in the group, so any Australian hosts can just jump on there nice and easy, because sometimes government websites aren't fun, are they? Okay, so another thing I want to talk about today is family profiles. That's something I've been sort of doing a bit on lately. I'm trying to review some host profiles. Hey, Christina, welcome. So the host profile, sort of from my perspective, is the first place that au pairs get to start their journey in knowing, liking, and trusting you. And that's very much kind of like a business marketing kind of, it comes from that world. But I feel like it's very relevant here. And so that profile can be really, really powerful if we put the kind of right details in it and the way that we approach it. So, hey, Courtney. So what are you saying here? Our au pair feels a part of our family, but also keep healthy boundaries. Yeah, and, those boundaries are so adaptable, and, each au pair will be different. So I think, having an au pair really integrate into the family like a family member, but we all respect each other's space and time that we need to, I guess, it's kind of like R&R, isn't it? We all just need that little bit of quiet time or whatever we need that kind of nourishes our souls. So that's wonderful. I think it's a really good approach to have as well. Come in, be a family member, but let's have our space as well. So nice. So back to the family profile. I actually have quite a long profile. Some of you may have seen some of the detail that I put in mine. It's high level detail though. So I touch on a lot of topics to really help give the au pair an idea about our family, each of the members of our family, where we're living, our home, our local community, our lifestyle, even kind of to the point of some of our parenting preferences, what our family values are, some of those kind of things, because I want them to be able to relate to us, connect with us sort of at some of those levels, so they can go, yeah, cool, like I'm really going to fit in well with your family. And it means that I don't have to sift through as many random kind of profiles to kind of go, well, okay, out of all of these heaps of applications, there's only a few that match. I'm kind of really putting that effort in my profile so that au pairs are kind of almost screening themselves in applying to join our family. So other things that I cover as well, like I use the Dear Au Pair, the letter template, some search platforms have that, is to take them or bring them on a journey. So I share with them what's led myself and my husband to wanting to host an au pair. So kind of bring them on that journey, why we want to host them, and some of the things that we love about hosting or that we're looking forward to hosting. So we kind of use that as that kind of storytelling piece. Still brief, just touch on a few points. And then what else do? I share our schedule. So, just high level, we kind of get up at this time in the morning. This is kind of how our day looks. This is when we join together for lunch and dinner, and this is, when we kind of aim to go to bed, or like this is kind of our typical day. And that kind of involves like my husband and I and our work and that sort of thing. And then I do a separate schedule for what the au pair's day would look like, because that's different, right? So I put that separately. I also include our favourite foods. There's so much emotion and connection that happens over food. So I actually put what are our favourite breakfasts, lunches and dinners, and they're able to kind of then also imagine what life's like living with us at that level. So I include things like, what their on-duty tasks are. I've already sort of touched on the off-duty tasks. So I put that really briefly in my profile. I might mention if we've got any upcoming travel coming. We don't personally have any pets, but I actually even put that in my profile. Like I have a topic pets, but we don't have any. At some stage, our neighbour's cat used to always come over to our place. So I put that in there because if an au pair has a dislike for a particular animal or allergies to particular animals, that can be important as part of their process for deciding whether, we might be an appropriate match, because, some of those things might impact their stay, right? So there's lots of information you can touch on. I include hours. I include pay in my profile as well. I feel like I don't really want to be negotiating pay rates with au pairs. So if someone was expecting a lot of, really high pay, I'm kind of not in the position to be doing that. So I actually include that in my profile, and I've not had one conversation about, pay, pocket money, whatever it's kind of called for your country. So yeah, there's lots of information I touch on in my profile, really to help them imagine what it would be like living with us. I also help them imagine imagine what their day would be like with us in their on-duty hours, but then I also give them ideas on what they might be able to do in their off-duty hours. So, they can jump on the bus and head into, go to the train station, go to the city. There's shops close by. We've got a beach close by, which is obviously, a plus for hosting au pairs. But, just think about what's around and what at a maybe cultural experience level you could share with them in your profile. So kind of help paint that picture for them, so wording like, you would be able to go and do this or experience that, connect with other au pairs in our local community through Facebook groups, or, we've got playgrounds. Well, that's probably more on duty, I guess, playgrounds, to meet up with other au pairs, with other kiddies. So think about how you can share that as well, so they can start to picture, okay, from a cultural experience, what else can I get out of staying with your family? So hopefully that helps give you some ideas on, how you might be able to sort of utilize or pump a lot of information into your profile, but at a higher level, and really ask them to, if your dates match with their availability for them to read your profile and connect with you, if they resonate with, the information you share, call it out to them. Ask them to message you and to connect, because, let's find out if we're a match. So be creative with it. Don't be afraid to let personality and humour come in there. Just one point to note, though, when you are doing your profile or editing or updating it, is just have a look at the language that you use and the way that you word things, and just think that a lot of au pairs, English is not their first language, or whatever language you are writing your profile in, is just try to prevent anything that may confuse them or things they might not understand. So keep it really simple language too, is one thing that one of my little guides, I guess, to when I'm doing my profile, is try not, be creative, but I'm careful to not create confusion for them. Cool. So another thing that I like to do personally, if we now go to like the next step of the process, so once you've found an au pair, you need to prepare for them and welcome them. So I like to look at this part of the process as an opportunity to sort of delight the au pair in a way. So I guess, look at it as a bit of a customer relation type situation, in that once we've agreed that, yes, we're going to, they're going to join us, well, I don't want to sort of drop off the face of the planet and not really be in contact with them, or, they must have so many nerves and all sorts of things, there's that probably really, they may be really excited about it, but the nerves that may play into it as well. So I like to try to, share them a photo, maybe like with my daughter, and like we're out of the playground or doing something, or, check in with them. How's their week? How's their weekend? I like to try to support them in the preparation process. So I have my own preps that I need to do, but then, I make sure that I'm available to kind of answer any questions they have. Just check in, how you're going with your visa application. Here, this information or links might help you. How you're going with booking your flights. I'm quite adaptable when it comes to them booking their flights, because flights to Australia, where I'm at, can be quite expensive for au pairs. So, I like to keep it open and go, well, these are the dates that I would like you to arrive in. Have a look to see if there's any flights in this sort of time frame where they're more affordable, you don't have massive long layovers, so I kind of am flexible like that. And see, I just kind of try and love them up and nurture them until they get here, because I don't want them to get cold feet and go, oh, no, I'm not coming anymore. Like, I sort of want to be building, that family profile is really that first kind of introduction, Skype call, all those kind of steps, and then that preparation up to welcoming them. I like to try and keep in touch with them and make sure that we're still here, we're not going anywhere, we still want you to join us, and we're going to support you through that process. So I kind of like to think about delighting them in that process, get them excited for this cultural exchange experience. Well, we've got a couple of minutes left. There was plenty more that I wanted to talk about, but I might have to save some of that for next time. Maybe I might give you another tip in relation to your searching. A couple ones, and then I'm going to start wrapping up, is when you're searching, sometimes it can be really hard to go, well, who am I looking for? And just to be looking at the new profiles that come on whatever platform that you're searching, is think about how you can search for keywords, right? So if you love yoga, or your family loves camping or getting outdoors or going on bushwalks or any of these kind of things, is think about what the keyword is in that sort of activity or that nature, and try searching by that, because au pairs who include some of those words in their profile, then you'll be able to have a look at those profiles and see, hey, are there other things that we connect with for when you're actually reaching out to them to try and find one yourself. So it's not all about receiving messages, but, finding people that you can message as well. Courtney, what have you said? I'm planning to put together a basket of nice toiletries and such to help them feel welcome when they arrive. Absolutely, that's appropriate. So I do have my own version of a welcome basket or a welcome box or kit or pack. I have a welcome letter, a booklet that introduces them to our local, our family, our home, our local area, which is a bit more detailed than my profile. I give them this is the address if you have any mail delivered here. This is our internet password. This is where the bus stop is, and just things like that. So I have a welcome booklet, and then in my welcome basket, I have a few different things as well. So toiletries and things like that's definitely really helpful, because they will only bring so much with them from wherever they're coming from, and sometimes that can be a little expensive thing. And if they don't have to worry about finding that stuff whilst they're here in their duration of staying with us. The one thing that I would probably just note on that is that sometimes there might be people who have preferences about, if they've got allergies to certain chemicals or products or ingredients in some kind of toiletry type products, is that's the only thing that I would be cautious about. So you could kind of include that try and scope that out for them. Do they have any preferences or brands, or, because if they like organic products that are, maybe not going to impact their body. So there's some of the things that I'm mindful of when I'm thinking about that stuff. For my welcome kit, I like to include a few kind of Aussie things, or, something kind of a bit patriotic, or from our home country. Maybe a notebook, so they can kind of diarise some things. So there's plenty of things that you can include in your welcome kit. Think about things that would help them whilst they're here. And then at the other end, when you're farewelling them, you will have got to know them better, and then that will definitely help when it comes to maybe thinking about a bit of a farewell gift for them. So plenty of ideas and opportunities. For me, I like to just go to our local kind of sort of $2 store, I guess, and have a look at what Australian things I can get them, to just sort of add a few little things in there on top of some of the other stuff. yeah, you might even include like a beach towel or like a bit of a shopping bag, like those foldable ones that are really compact. Think about also, so things that might help them whilst they're staying with you, and also when they've got to go home and when they're traveling, things that aren't too big and heavy for their traveling. So hopefully that helps. Well, I think it's time to wrap up. One thing I just want to let you know is that I've had some people sort of posting in the group that they're interested in a host preparation checklist. So that's something that I'm currently working on. Is that something that you would love to utilize in your hosting journey, having a host preparation checklist and, I guess a bit of a bundle, a kit of other documents and templates, checklists, things like that at that phase, then yeah, absolutely let me know if there's anything that you'd love to see in that. And I will hopefully start getting some of that to you. Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Christina. Yeah, it will be good, really, really helpful. Because I think, if you're in that searching phase, and I know for me, like whenever I'm in a certain phase in my hosting journey, like that's where my head's at. But then when I come to the next one, I kind of almost feel like I have to start over again. So I've created checklists and all these templates and things to support me at each phase when it comes to my own hosting experience. So when I come to, right, okay, I found my au pair for, the next time slot, then this is now my checklist for going into this next step. What are all the things I need to do? And how can I help the au pair? So I kind of almost have a separate checklist for them as well that I actually share with them and go, here you go. This is, this is some information that's going to help you with the things you need to do. Here are some links, here's some information to help you when it comes to packing and all sorts of stuff. So I'm wanting to package all that up and share it with you guys to help you in your own hosting journey, because that one sometimes can be a bit of a, well, hey, there's challenges at every step of the way, but there's so many ways that we can make our life easier, and that is what I'm here for. So on that note, I've just want to thank you for joining and jump into the group, share, ask questions, comment, do all that sort of stuff. If anyone's wanting their family profile reviewed, do let me know. I want to share another video tomorrow if I can, reviewing a family profile and share that to the group so other hosts can benefit from kind of seeing how to maybe create their profile, how they can stand out from the crowd and attract their ideal au pair. So yeah, message me if you'd like me to do that. And yeah, otherwise, happy hosting. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening wherever you're at. And if you love this session, let me know, because I'm definitely open to doing more of these and would love to help answer your questions. So if this format works, then yeah, let's do it again. And I'm happy to do it at different times to try and help make it easier for people to join in. Well, on that note, happy hosting, and I will see you again very soon. See you later, hosts.